So we're in this parking lot now, and we decided to use the truck as a blind, which works out really well. There's a whole herd of deer that came through, and we got some shots of that, and then eventually the chipmunks came out, and I'll let Marilyn talk about that.
Well, we saw one of the branches shaking over on a tree over there, and we noticed that it was loaded down with berries. So we thought, okay, there's a good chance it's either a bird or a squirrel or chipmunk. And yeah, it turned out to be what we think is a squirrel. And there's more than one. And we got out of the truck after a little while and started photographing, and they're just kind of messing with us, running around. At least they're not mad and throwing things. We've had that happen before on a trail. And it wasn't just us. There were other people wondering what's the noise and what are those things flying through the air. So yeah, they're fine. They're harvesting the berries, and we're trying to stay out of their way. We just want photos. We don't want to interrupt their business.
Because chipmunks and squirrels are so fast, that's what makes it easy to get 5 great photos in 5 minutes. Our recommendations are: find a park or a quiet wooded location where you've seen chipmunks, squirrels, or deer before. Park your vehicle, turn it off, and stay inside. You're using your vehicle as a blind. Let the critters get used to your vehicle being there. At this time, I would also suggest rolling your windows down. Then you won't have to shoot through glass. This may take a little time for them to show up, but you've got to give it some time. Have your camera ready. Dial in your settings. We recommend a high shutter speed, say 1/1000th or higher, so your photos will be sharp. And then use auto ISO. Also, continuous focus is helpful. Once the critters get used to you and start going about their business, you can take photo after photo after photo. A couple of tips. Pay attention to your lighting. Which direction do you want the light to fall on your subject? This will inform where you park your vehicle. The lighting might not be perfect, but work with it as best you can. And don't rule out dappled sunlight. It can add interest to your subject if it's not too harsh. Also, please, please, please remember to keep your distance. We don't want to frighten or stress the wildlife. Their business is survival, and we don't want to interfere with their business. F8 and be ready. I have an example of this. One time when we were visiting Sunset Bay, I saw a small critter, something out in the shallow, very shallow water of the bay. I mean, it was maybe no more than 2 to 3 feet deep at that point. And I had my camera and I brought it up and I shot what was there. I got several shots of it and I was all excited. I thought it was going to be a sea otter. And sea otter have been extinct on the Oregon coast for, well, 100 years. And this would be an amazing sighting, and I was really excited. I brought my camera in, or started chimping my camera so I could look at the photographs, and it turned out to be a young harbor seal. But I wouldn't have known that, and I could have made a big fool of myself if I said I got an otter and ran around telling everybody, I got an otter, I got an otter, I got an otter. It would have been really very embarrassing. So by being F8 and ready and getting that photo, I saved myself a lot of embarrassment, and, it's a funny story at this point, but still. And what the heck, I still got a couple good shots of, a very young harbor seal.
So F8 and be ready. This applies to this photo of the pelicans that I took. I didn't even see these guys flying in, but Rick saw them and he pointed them out to me. I already had my camera in my hand. The settings were already there. I was able to grab the shot. I got it, and I really like this photo.